And we're back for the obligatory podcast.
We are back.
Kermit and Myke.
You sound a little bit low.
Do I sound low over there?
Oh, maybe you just weren't talking like
I wasn't
a man.
talking directly into.
That's what it was.
No, okay.
Yeah,
I was going to say into the mic.
Find those bowls. Reach down deep.
I
Speak
got
like a
two.
man. I thought I was doing a podcast with your sister tonight. Oh, no, wait. That's something else with your sister, and that's tomorrow night. Oh. No, I wouldn't mess with your sister. She messed me up, dude. Your whole family are like...
Trained killers?
Trained killers, yes.
Just my dad.
Yeah.
The other two, we're just kind of going with the flow.
Yeah, and now that I know your weakness, apparently calcium.
Hold on. Before we get into
we're not
this,
gonna get it. Okay,
yeah,
well,
we
we'll
get
put
into
that.
this,
We'll put a pin in that
we'll
for
put
a second.
Pin in that.
All right.
Just letting everybody know, you can find us on iTunes, Spotify, YouTube. We have a Facebook page, and of course, Podbean. We also have a Patreon account coming soon. And
Do you
also,
think it's weird that we spend the first few seconds of the podcast telling people who are listening to the podcast where to find us when they're obviously not the ones we're targeting that message to? Like they found us.
Yeah.
Like they don't need another way to find us. They have a way and it works. It's like Marines. They always go, I know 26 different ways to kill a man. And my dad used to tell them, I know one, but it works every time. You know, it's like they have their way.
well, just in case they switch it up.
Yeah,
That's where you
just
can
in
find
case you listen to us and you love us and you're talking to your friends and your friends are like, oh, I don't listen on Google Play. And then you're like, well, here's 16 different ways.
16 different ways. It's 4. But
Okay.
what the hell's going on with my mic?
That's your mic. You never do your mic right.
Your mic sounds way better than mine.
That's
Why is
because I'm talking into the top of my
talking
mic.
in-
No, now you are. See the difference?
Oh.
And you always set your mic and then...
I set it like a gangster lane.
Yeah, and that's why if you shoot like that, and you have a gun now, which scares me.
I got a pew-pew.
Because I figure you go out to the range and you do like one clip properly, and then you just do the...
That's because I have a weak wrist.
That's because of the calcium deficiency. All right, let's get back on track. Because you took the time
yeah.
to write up a little outline of how things should go, and it was beautiful, it was perfect, it was quaint, and I feel like that's our problem. Like as soon as we find one thing, we
just roll on right
so
into it.
let's pull ourselves. That's why we need a third person. We need one person that just kind of like
They keep us on track?
Yeah. And I thought it was going to be you, and you thought it was going to be me, and we're both like, nah, let's go off this road.
Go off the rails here.
Yeah, 2 roads diverge in a forest, and we're like, nah, let's go back that way. Let's go the other way. No, do you go on the left or the right? I'm like, too many decisions. We're going to go back, grab some pizza, think about it. Over at Lazy Moon Pizza, where the pizza is as big as your head. They don't pay me anything for that.
I really hope one person listens to
Dude,
this from Lazy Moon.
I took the kids last week again, and this is what we do now. They don't even call it Lazy Moon. They call it the place where the pizza is as big as your head, and they don't know why that's not the name of the place. They're like, this should be called the pizza is as big as your head, and we have photos every time we go of them holding the pizza in front of their head. So, but back, here we go, back. Okay, we're pulling back.
All right.
Where
are we going to?
We did the thing that you wanted to do about where we've been.
What I wanted to do.
Where you can find us. We got the Patreon account that we're starting out because we're not going to lie.
Mike's broke.
We're broke. We're broke. We're going in the hole with this podcast.
Well, I'm okay.
But you know what? We don't bowl. We don't play. We're not Elks. We don't have union dues to pay. Like, think of all the money we're saving by being here and not out doing something else right now.
Man, I got stocks.
Yeah. Plus, you buy a lot of shit for this place. Like every time I come back, you're like, "I got this for the studio."
You know why?
Because
when I pay for things, doesn't make a dent into my pockets.
Really,
That's right.
really, you left your paycheck stub out here about a week ago.
Did I?
Yeah.
Shit. All right, it's not that good.
Yeah. No, I'm like, wow. That's it.
That's how much a karate.
No wonder your dad's rich.
Yeah, my dad's rich.
Yeah, like I said, no matter you get one kid to sign up, and he's paid your salary for the week.
He set it up right. Because I haven't seen him throw a kick in years. he's a master at YouTube, and that's
the best offense is never to need one.
He's just scary. You don't know what he knows. So he's like, I'm not gonna mess with him.
No.
Yeah. But you keep making fun of me about my calcium.
Well, No, you just. I guess you went to the doctor today.
Yeah, and they just looked at me like, "Oh, you got arthritis, an early sign."
Arthritis. What's an early sign of arthritis?
Apparently
like your
me.
joints and your where?
Yes,
like where do you
hurts.
have it? Like all throughout
On
your
my
body?
thumb and on my
your
wrist
thumb?
and on my fingers.
Mm.
So that's all. Wait, why did I say thumb and fingers? My fingers,
Of which hand?
both.
Wow, so you're ambidextrous when it comes to your alone time, huh?
Just use the wrists, the wrist method.
Well, that's great. Now that you're getting arthritis, it will feel like, you got the one where you do it yourself. Then you
The
got the
stranger?
another one. Well, the other one is where you sit on it, let your hand go numb. Or, no, the stranger is when you use your left hand, right?
Right.
Yeah, and now you got the one where it's like an 80-year-old guy.
Just hurts. Complaining. I gotta take Advil afterwards.
You'll finally get to know what it feels like to be an altar boy. Here we go.
That's all your experience, not mine.
No. Remember, I was the one who didn't get molested.
Oh.
Because, as my dad puts it, I was a very unattractive child. Which,
Not even a priest?
Yeah, even back then, you get too ugly to get molested in the Catholic Church.
Did he say that?
Yes.
In your face.
Yes.
Like when you were young.
No. He told me this. We were on the couch. I had gone home for the holidays. We were watching 60 Minutes, and I talk about it in my show. This segment came on about altar boys who had been molested by their priests. And I turned to my dad. I'm like, man, I can't believe. Oh, dude, I'm so glad things were different when I was a kid. He's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, I was an altar boy for like 8 years, and I never got molested. He's like, Mike, things weren't different. You were just a very ugly child. Like, that's my dad. Like, you don't know whether you should be offended or like thankful, and then you see these altar boys getting like the $5 million settlements, and you're like, maybe for five, maybe for 5 million. Come on, what's you got a number in your head right now, Kermit? How much would it take
To get molested as a kid?
Yeah.
What a weird way to. I don't even know. 10 grand.
Oh wow! Hey, you're gonna spend more on that. The time machine to go back and fix things. Oh man, if Jared from Subway knew you had a rate like that, he would never done a day in
I'm the
prison.
size of a child, so I mean, I figure I'll confuse him a
You
little
do appeal to like people who are into kids. Like,
Thanks.
I
The
guess.
mustache
Are
messes
you ever
them up.
walking through the mall and someone sees you from behind? They're like, "Hey, do you need help finding your parents?"
And then they turn around.
And then you turn around, you got the goatee. They're like, "Oh, it's
Damn
an
it.
Italian child."
I'm coming up in Italian now?
Hey,
Oh,
hey. This
I'm not
is-
going to do this voice right now, but
Nah. Hey, welcome to Corn Al's Pools Tools
we got the police and tools.
at the pizzeria.
The pizzeria.
All right.
No.
All right, pulling it back.
Pull it back.
Pulling it back. So the doctors say, and now is that something that comes from, is that genetic, hereditary, or
I
is it
don't
from
know.
putting your body through so
I think it's
much?
just from me just fighting and holding mitts so much.
What exactly is arthritis? Like, is it just your joints?
So you have
aren't-
cartilage between the bones,
Right.
and that's disappearing.
Okay.
They-
Okay. So you see,
Thanos snapped his fingers,
And
just
half
the
your cartilage disappeared.
That's
oh
it.
man, that's rough.
So yeah, that's what's
Feel
happening.
bad for you, man.
Snap! Don't. Whatever.
You're gonna be using a walker soon.
No.
You're
I
gonna-
don't. That's my biggest fear is getting old.
No, you're there.
I don't want. No.
Yep.
No.
Not
Not yet.
By the grace of your goatee, you'll start shaving
This
just
is
so you won't have
knowledge.
to. What's that?
This is called knowledge.
Look at that! You got like the pencil thin goatee all the way around.
I know. I got to cut today.
and like 3/4 of it is gray already. And like, I know you're cheap too. You're frugal, so I know when you go into Walmart, you're like, do you have any just for men, but only in like a 2-ounce? I don't want to buy the whole thing. I'm not doing my whole head. I don't have a full beard. Do you have a carton that may be cracked open upon stocking, and I can just like wipe some from the edges and massage
I always
it?
go to the clearance section in the open area. They have it all taped up.
Yeah, don't do that, man. That's where I got condoms from, and now I got 2 kids. So, yeah. Sometimes you pay the extra because it's worth it.
Well,
all right?
that's fool me once, shame on you.
Fool me twice, you're probably a dad.
You're probably a dad, and Walmart strikes
Hey,
again.
something cool, not to take away from your life-threatening illness. I believe most people in the country nowadays die from arthritis. I believe it's the number one killer
I can
in the
say-
country.
Thanks. I so look forward now to looking that up on Google.
I believe arthritis is the number one cause of death for men between 35 and 38.
How does arthritis kill somebody?
You go to reach for that railing when you're walking down the stairs and your wrist gives out and you tumble down the stairs. You know, that's just how it is now, man.
If that happens, that's the end of this podcast.
I got Joe Sensabella.
How dare you mention that name
What?
on the podcast?
Joe Sensabella. Joe Sensabella. And now you turn around, he's
He
here.
pops up. He's like,
Beetlejuice. No, we got to get Joe in here.
We'll get him in.
Yeah, Joe, Jake, Rika.
Yeah, we'll get him in.
That was kind of fun. We were at the Orlando Improv last week. We had some technical difficulties, but I got to say, it was really nice having like
cool.
Ken Miller swing in, be able to sit down, do some talking, Robbie Moreland,
You know what the highlight of that whole setup was?
having someone bring you a drink.
Dude. That was so nice.
Yeah, you loved having your personal server at the podcast.
So nice.
Yeah, that was cool. We got to do that again.
I even over tipped him because he did that.
Yeah.
I was like, here's a 10.
We got to get him to sign a waiver because he ended up on film, just his hand.
Just his arm. Hey, real quick, before we go into any more topics,
Sure. We haven't hit a topic yet.
Sort of.
Yeah.
But you are up for beep, beep, beep,
What?
Best of Orlando. Yeah. And the voting ends next week.
That's right.
So we got to push it.
I have 0 chances.
You got a good chance.
I got 0. Well, for those of you listening, we have a local paper here called the Orlando Weekly.
Yep.
And it's great. They got what I really like about them is their arts and entertainment section. Like they're very supportive of local arts and entertainment. And I'm in. I think it's me and 7 other comics.
All right. Let's say there's you and 5 other comics.
Okay. And it's a voter's choice thing. So you just click on the link. And I think we have it on the Obligatory Podcast Facebook page.
Yeah, we have it on the Facebook page.
And also we might post in the description for this podcast.
Yeah, we will.
But but like, you know what? 3 of those guys, I believe, have access to like
Radio.
FM radio.
And
Like, so they've just been putting it out all week. And
2 of them, right?
so Ryan Holmes.
Who else?
Ryan's funny. Ross Padgett, who I love.
Yeah, he has.
Ross is a great dude and everything like that. And Tim Murphy sits in on the Tom and Dan podcast a lot.
Does he?
Yeah, plus they get play over on
I thought he's just homeless now.
No, I think he found a home. I mean,
Down
if you
by the river.
down by the river. If you get a chance, one of the podcasts that kind of helped us out a lot when we started out, Poking the Bear, Charlie Bowie, Ryan Holmes, and Big Tim Murphy, and take a listen to them. But I listened to him. Yeah, the last episode I listened to him. Big Tim was talking about moving or where he was going or something like that. But yeah. Well, I'm not gonna ruin the story. You guys take a listen on their podcast.
I don't know. I didn't listen
and figure it out. But you know what was kind of cool too today, man?
What?
We always do that kind of pre-show thing while you're doing all the work and I'm doing nothing before the show.
Yeah.
Yeah. And who pops up onto the chat? Mr. Louie Anderson.
The Louie Anderson.
You might remember him from being a comic since the late 70s. Early 80s when he started.
Or Life with Louie.
He was Life with Louie, the cartoon. Family Feud. He hosted that for quite a few years. Also Coming to America. He was in that with Eddie Murphy. Remember that scene?
He was the mop guy.
No, he wasn't the mop guy.
He worked in the...
yeah, he was back. He was training Eddie Murphy how to work at McDougal's.
That's right.
He's like, right now they got me on the fryer, but next week's I'll be chopping the lettuce, and after that it's the cash register, and that's when the real money comes.
When the real money comes. Yeah, I remembered it now.
And he's done a bunch of stuff, but then
he's on Baskets too.
2 years ago, he got onto Baskets, Zach Galifianakis' show on FX. I believe that's produced by Louis C.K. And he won an Emmy the first season of Baskets. But more specifically, why it means so much to me here at the show is the reason the Obligatory Podcast even exists is it was Louie Anderson's idea.
It was Louie Anderson.
I was talking to him. He's like, "Hey, Mike, have you ever thought of doing a podcast?" And I was like, "Louie, everybody has podcasts." He's like, "Everybody but you." And then that was it. He told me, he's like, "Look, I want you to email me over names for your podcast." So I went home that night and wrote a bunch of names. And one of the names that I had was actually called The Invisible Comic.
Yep.
Because if you remember when we started this, what I wanted to do was interview comics who make a living doing this, but nobody's ever heard of. Because there's far more of those than big household name comedians. Right. And that's why we're going to interview like the feature levels at the Improv and stuff. And then it just kind of morphed into what we're doing now. But I'd still like to do a segment like The Invisible Comic at some point. But that was the name he helped pick. And then you and I got together and we decided to do an Obligatory Podcast. And but even so, without Louie Anderson, this podcast wouldn't exist. So I guess blame him.
Blame him for the headache we go through setting this all up.
Well, the headache you go through. I
don't say headache anymore.
Yeah.
It was in the beginning.
People are like, Mike, why do you drive 35 minutes out to Ocoee to do this podcast?
Who says that?
Because I get off easy. Kermit's the one doing all the work.
Who says that? Show the face.
Pedro Lima.
Oh, well, he's...
Ken
whatever.
Miller.
Okay.
Everybody that's important in my life.
Say that to my face.
Of course not, because they need flyers.
They need flyers. And they need...
So, but, it was a cool week last week, real quick, Thursday night. Have you done Miguel Colon from Real Laughs, 104.1 Radio? He actually has a little room. He runs up in Altamont. I think they do it one Thursday a month right now. It's a place called Kiwis up there on Summer 436. Kevin White went up there and we drove up there together to do the show. I figured it was going to be one of those bar shows. Dude, they had the place packed out. People paid tickets, which if you're from Orlando, Orlando's a great scene for comedy. Very saturated, though. Like, you can even go to Orlando Improv some nights and get free tickets to see some amazing names. There's just so much comedy. So when you see a room that's charging tickets at the door, you're like, I don't know how that's going to work out. They sold out. It was a great show, fun time. I meant to tell you, hit up Miguel, get booked on that show, man. You do great. It was great.
You invited me to that show, but
I did.
I decided to stay home because I wanted to work on stuff. Now I regret it.
Should have came out. There was a spot for a host. We didn't have a guest spot. It would have worked out great.
It was only two of you, huh?
Yeah, it was a two-man
Son
show.
Of a gun.
But more importantly, we had the opportunity, both you and I, to sit in on 104.1 Real Laughs itself this past week. In fact, as we record this podcast,
it's on.
Yeah.
Every Monday through Thursday at 9 p.m.
That's right. And this week we were on the Monday from 9 to 10. 9 to 10. Yep. And we're on right now, 9 to 10, which I guess if you're listening to us Thursday morning, you missed us. And then Wednesday night, we're on 9 to 10. And I got to tell you, man, I've done it before. I've done it once before in the past, but it was a different lineup of comics who were sitting in. Last night this recording Sunday for this week was a blast, man. It was interesting. It was fun. It was like it took you a minute to get into it. Yeah, it was like that game with jump rope double dutch. Just looking for your chance to jump in. I didn't know when to jump in. I was like, and I stood quiet, I think, for the first segment. Yeah. I was just like, I'm here. And that's what you kind of do. I mean, there literally were four of us. There's a lot of personalities. Yeah, and you want to give each other room. And I think even us finding our way, it's like you kind of look at each other and go, oh, are you? And there's some hosts, and it's hard for me to listen to those shows where they just talk over each other relentlessly. Like whenever you hear those morning radio shows, like, welcome to the morning zoo. Hey, what's going on today? But then it's like six people, and now the commercial. Yeah, you're like, what just happened? Yeah. It's so much better when you got people who've been working together for a while, and that's why it's weird if you haven't worked together that much. And the nice thing is the four of us who were on there, we all know each other from comedy and being outside. So it was a very, okay, it looks like Kevin's about to say something. Yeah. Okay, Kermit's got something on his mind, Which was nothing informative. But yeah, so the great thing, though, is if you're listening to us on Thursday, go back and listen to our episodes over there, Monday through Wednesday on the Real Radio 104.1 iHeart app. I was going to say, if anything, you can listen to the repeats on iHeart. Yeah. On iHeart app. Yeah. It was kind of cool because, you do a great job with the studio here, but there's nothing like walking into... They do so many shows out of that building, and you walk in there and you're just like, wow. It was a lot, by the way. It was a big setup. I thought we'd only do, 20 minutes, 30 minutes? No, well, they were doing 3 episodes. Sometimes they do the full week. They record it right then. I feel like we did do the full week. No, we just did 3 nights worth. Okay. And then on this Thursday, they're playing a best of. Okay. But yeah. But when you break it down, you walk in there and you realize once you sit down, it's still just this, man. It's a headset, it's a microphone, and it goes into something they record. And you couldn't follow the rules. I didn't have any rules put forth to me. There's certain words you're not allowed to say on FM radio, apparently. And Mike kept saying all of them. No, I didn't. No, I didn't. You can't. There was one specific word that I said twice. 3. I still debate that third one. You said it so fast, you didn't even catch yourself. I didn't even realize it. You kept saying shitty. Yeah, that's my go-to word to explain situations, people, and products. But then you said another word, which I think is worse than shitty. Yeah, and everybody cheered because they were happy I didn't say shitty. And I was shocked. And I said something happened. I was on a tangent. I'm like, asshole. Yeah. And they're like, yay! And I was like, what? I'm looking at you with my mouth open. Oh, we're just glad you didn't say something worse. I'm like, so wait a minute. I can say asshole, but not shitty. And then there were other words you could say. Like, you can't say tits, but you can say boobies.
Right.
You can't say...
I can call you a pussy, but I
Right.
can't refer to the woman. Or I can't talk about
to the
a
woman's
pussy.
apparatus, the vagina.
I can't talk about a pussy. I can call you a pussy.
And that's why you're like so happy to get back to podcasting. You're like, oh, no bleeps, no bloops, no nothing.
Yeah.
But shitty, who doesn't use shitty? Like, and what's funny is I don't curse around my kids at all. And I don't say shitty in front of them.
I was gonna say, do you say shitty?
No, not at all.
You're being real shitty right now.
But like
boy.
in an adult conversation, I'm like, that piece of shit. Something like that. I don't think twice. Like when you go to a comedy show and they're like, hey, we want to keep it PG-13. Basically, that means not a lot of blue material and please don't say fuck. Shit is always on the table, though.
I always like when people say, don't use fuck. And then the host comes out, how do y'all fuckers doing? I'm like, what just happened?
I'm sorry, man. If it's on a bumper sticker like you see every day, like, this is bullshit, that should be a word you're allowed to say.
Is George Carlton. Remember when he did that? Was it seven words you can't
George
use?
Carlton?
Oh, that's in that.
George Carlton, the guy that gave us the Carlton?
No, not
the
George
dance?
That's I'm saying his name wrong. Damn it.
Yeah, you are.
Carlson. I'm
gonna let you figure it out.
We're gonna be here all night then.
Yeah.
You're the pro here. Come on.
It's George Carlin, man.
Carlin.
There you go. Was
Thank
that
you.
so hard?
Yes, it was.
You're
it wasn't
welcome.
clicking in my head. But what was his
He had a bit called 7 words.
7 words
You can't say on TV. And the FCC actually used his list
Right.
of 7 words to start the list of words. They didn't have a list. They just knew when they saw it. It was like one of those things people say, what's the difference between art and pornography? And people are like, oh, you can't describe it. You just know it when you see it. Like, what's the difference between this naked painting by Michelangelo and this naked photo you took of this girl you used to date? Like, one's porn and one's art. What's the difference?
Yeah.
And they're like, you know it when you see it. And that's how the FCC used to be. Like, they had a whole board of censors. They still do. That just listen and they're like, no, you can't do that. And he put out that list and the FCC actually said, oh, yeah. So it's kind of funny that he created the list of words you can't say or do on.
Do you know?
I used to.
I wish we'd have looked that up.
Yeah, if only we had a small personal computer.
Yeah, actually, you do.
Yeah, we do. So what's the prognosis for that arthritis?
It's going to go
Like,
back.
how long do you
back
have?
to me dying?
Well, I'm looking up the 7 words, but I didn't want to.
Nothing. I got to go back for an MRI. They just did an X-ray.
Yeah. Did they do a lot of mumbling and looking at files and showing other people without making eye
He
contact
started
with
saying
you?
big words and showing me things on chart, and I'm like, oh, okay, but can I just get a steroid shot into my arm and just call it a day? And he said no.
George Carlin, the 7 dirty words are 7 English language words that American comedian George Carlin first listed in 1972 in his monologue, 7 words you can never say on television. The words are shit, piss, fuck, cunt, cocksucker, motherfucker, and tits.
Damn, he was right on the money with that.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It'd be funny to see how many of these stations came back and just said, oh, no, we got that list from Carlin.
Yeah, I was just wondering if that still applied because the way everything is now.
Oh,
Maybe
I'm
it
sure there's
changed.
more words now. I'll have to look into it.
He said cunt too, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that one's there.
What about cunty?
Yeah, I don't know if it's one of those things where, every variation of one of those
Yeah,
words.
I feel like if you add a Y or IE to every word,
Yeah.
it makes it cute and you can get away
Shitty.
with it.
Then
Yeah,
I
shitty.
should have got away with all 3.
Yeah, shitty,
Shitty was
fucky,
everything.
bitchy, cunty.
So Real Laughs was a total fun. Thanks, James John, for having us on. That was a great time. And
Yep.
James John's doing some big things, man.
But you have to be hush-hush about it still, right?
I think everybody's got to be hush-hush about it. But, man,
Who's
good.
everybody? It's only you and him that knows about it.
No, there's more.
And me, like a little
But,
bit. Yeah.
yeah. But all I'm saying is look out for James John. He's got some good things going
There
for
you
himself. Yeah. And then last night, Monday night was kind of fun, dude. We went up. I've never been to Winter Garden except for your karate school.
That's right.
And you had hit me up. I said I wanted to get together, work on some, podcast stuff, some social media stuff. And you said there was actually an open mic last night. I'm like, okay, I guess we can swing by and do that. And dude, that was so much more than an open mic.
It was way better than I
That
thought.
was a friggin' show.
There was jokes I said that never work. They worked. I was like, oh, okay.
That crowd, there had to be 100 people.
It was, yeah.
There had to be 80 to 100 people.
packed.
There was no place to sit
Standing
or stand.
room. Yeah.
And there were literally people standing. And you and I spent a lot of the night outside waiting for our chance
Sweating
to
it
get
out.
up. But yeah. What was the name of the
Attic Door in Winter Garden.
Winter Garden. Yep. I think they're going to try doing comedy once a month, maybe starting out.
So right now they're going to start off with every last Monday of the month. Mm-hmm. So that's what they're going to do.
Right. And what was the guy hosting over there? His name was Henry?
Henry. I don't know his last name.
Yeah. But no, he was nice enough. I didn't even plan on doing stage time. When I got there, you had said you had already told him.
I already put your name on the list.
And great audience, man. What a great.
It was fun.
Yeah.
It was hella fun.
Yeah. I hope they do it again. Marcus Crespo closed it out. Did a great job. Yeah.
Marcus showed you. Oh, you saw the photos of Marcus Carr.
Oh, yeah. If you guys get a chance, check out Marcus Crespo. He is hands down one of the funniest people I know. I was going to say one of the funniest up-and-coming guys I know, but I don't want to take anything away from him. He's just one of the funniest guys I know.
Yeah.
And it's funny because we were leaving last night afterwards, and he said he had pulled his car into the parking garage in downtown Winter Garden. And I guess he had loaned his car to someone a couple of weeks earlier, and they kind of messed up the front bumper a little bit.
They hit like a pole or whatever, something. They hit something.
Just enough to angle it down enough to where he went into that parking garage, and it kind of bottomed out the front.
Yep.
And he tore it down.
Yep.
So I didn't see his car, but he was like, yeah, I got to swing by a Walgreens, pick up some tape or something, and fix my bumper. And then you said, hey, my karate school's right around the corner. I got some Gorilla Tape. I'll hook you up. It's a mile away. And then today they posted a picture, and it was just a bumperless car. I'm like, yeah, I don't think Gorilla Tape is what. How bad? What is it? What was going on?
What happened was the bumper got hit. Wherever the guy hit the pole, he inverted the bumper inside. So when Marcus was driving, it was rubbing the tires. It was cutting the tire.
Right.
And I was like, dude, you got to. And he's going to Jacksonville this at night.
Yeah.
I was like,
you
dude,
can't you
got to get rid of
away
it.
that
There's
bumper.
no way.
Yeah.
And I was like, you got to rip it off. He's like, what? I guess he didn't realize.
You couldn't have just ripped off the part and the tire. Was the tire on both sides?
It was one big unit. Yeah, it was both sides.
Oh,
because if you move one side and if you move the other, it was just done. I was like, dude, you're losing a bumper tonight. And I was like, let's take it off. We just stripped it off.
Did you use proper tools or did you just
No,
rip
they pop
it off?
They had like little bolts.
They throw it in his car to hopefully fix it?
I was like, dude, they're not going to. I didn't want to. He says he has such a sad panda look.
Yeah.
I didn't want to break his heart. I was like, dude, you know they're not going to fix this. They're going to want to charge you for a brand new one.
Yeah, but you can't fix that. You can fix the bumper. You got to heat it up.
You got to heat it up and try to
shape it out again.
It out.
Which you can do with
but
boiled
it's
water.
Jacked.
Yeah.
No, it's jacked up.
Or you can just cut away the parts that are rubbing across the tire. But it was nothing you were going to fix with Gorilla Tape.
No, it wasn't just the sides. It was the whole bumper cracked. It was the front was cracked. The sides were cracked. It was like
he might need a new bumper.
Yeah, he jacked it up.
Oh man!
So he just took it apart, and I sent him on his way with chips and drinks.
Well, at least he was safe, right?
Yeah,
at least he was safe. So, yeah. But that was a good night, man. That was a good show. Great audience, fun time. And then, you were out. Now, I'm only thinking about this because I took the boys out to Melbourne today. I took them to the zoo because summer's coming to the end. We've hit the theme parks and everything.
Brevard Zoo?
I took them to the Brevard Zoo.
Sanford Zoo.
And what's funny is I remembered you were out there last Tuesday when we were supposed to be doing a podcast, but you bailed out to go open up for Devin Siebold recording his CD at Open Mics. And you had mentioned you have a joke about the Sanford Zoo, but you decided you were going to try and dog on
the Brevard Zoo.
And how'd that work out for you?
Went horrible.
Really?
It bombed so bad.
Really?
Because I just assume all zoos are horrible in Florida, and they're not. Apparently, Brevard Zoo's nice. He's telling me,
it's pretty good.
I've never been.
Yeah.
So,
but you have been to the Sanford Zoo.
Yeah, Sanford Zoo is
horrible.
Garbage. Yes,
I've never been.
Sanford Zoo is garbage.
Really?
It's pure garbage.
Really?
And everyone agrees.
Okay. Even the people who work there.
Even the people that work there is like, oh yeah, this is garbage.
Yeah.
Like they have an ant exhibit.
Yeah. Oh.
That's their biggest attraction. Ants.
No.
Yeah. So I'm talking about the zoo, but I say Brevard Zoo instead. Mm-hmm. And they turned on me and no laughs. Mm-hmm. And I had a heckler all of a sudden. And they like, oh, you don't know what you're talking about.
No, wow.
And I did it, but I had to stay in the pocket.
and what's funny is I've seen your set before. I know all 3 minutes of it.
Oh, I hate you. Okay.
So I know what other jokes you have, and you said up to that point you were doing well. So I'm just thinking about what are some of your other jokes?
Well, like I talk about like shitting on a homeless person. Not shitting, but
let's not use that word, okay?
being mean to a homeless person.
See, it's not as fun, is it?
No.
All right.
Talk about my girlfriend and getting her pregnant and leaving.
Yeah.
I talk about being how shitty Puerto Ricans are.
So you're talking about all this stuff, and they're laughing their ass off.
Yeah.
But then you just say they might have a not so amazing zoo, and they're like, oh, this guy.
I'm doing racist jokes, and I talk about the zoo. Forget it.
Oh, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. I will tell you this, dude. I took the kids and their mother to the zoo today, and paid for the admission. And as soon as I paid for the admission, I'm like, this is a little more expensive than I remember the last time I was here.
How much was it?
It was like $80 for the four of us.
You pay? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's each.
So I was like, but that's okay, because it's still like, let's face it, you're going to the zoo because you can't afford to take your kids to Animal Kingdom, you know? So I take my kids to the zoo, and we pay the admissions, and then they got all these things like, hey, you can feed the animals, but you got to buy the food. And I'm like, well, I thought that's why I paid the $80. Like, shouldn't you guys be feeding the animals? These animals are like homeless now. It's like they're counting on just passerbys to buy them a meal, you know? And I will say this, the giraffes, cocksuckers today, because every time I've taken the kids, we've done the thing where you go up and there's a landing, like a bridge you go up, and then there's a walkway, so you're like at head level with the giraffes, and you buy like lettuce and you can feed them the less. But the giraffes obviously didn't know that they're expected to put in a full 8-hour day, because when we got there, one giraffe had just got done eating and walked away, and then they were closing up shop, and this was like at 1:30. They're like, oh yeah, they're done for the day. I'm like, what do you mean they're done for the day? When your only job is eating, and you're like, I need to take a break from eating to grab a bite, you know? It's like, dude, get back here. My kid wants to feed you some fucking lettuce, you know? So we didn't do that because they weren't there. But then we did see some kangaroos.
Yeah, I saw that.
And the boys got to feed some kangaroos, which was kind of cool.
Yeah.
But then the thing I don't like about not that I don't like, but I kind of feel like it's a ripoff. It's kind of like the Morocco of Epcot. Because here's the thing, like at the Brevard Zoo, you go around and you got like cheetahs and giraffes and meerkats, which is cool. That's Africa. And then you go a little bit further and you got like some birds. And then you go further and you got like monkeys. And then the next one is like the wetlands or the swamp. And you go on this boardwalk and you're just in Florida. That's all it is.
In terms
like,
of Gatorland?
You see like one or two gators, and you look over, and they're like, oh, we got to... And I'm like, dude, there's nothing I'm seeing in this area that I didn't see in the parking lot before I paid 80 friggin' bucks to come in. All right?
Do they pat you down when you go in, or do they search you?
Why? Like if I'm bringing my own animals into
I would bring my own food.
Well, no, you can.
Oh, you can bring your own food? You can bring like lettuce and stuff?
Yeah.
You can feed them?
Oh, no, I think they don't care what you personally eat, but I think they would care what they catch you feed. You just gotta get lettuce that looks like, because they got people right there watching you. It's like you give them $2, they give you lettuce. You turn there.
When we take the Karate Kids to Gatorland,
you bring your own chicken.
No, we buy packs of hot dogs.
Yeah.
And we feed the gators like crazy. All the kids have hot dogs, they're throwing them at the gators.
And people are like, you were supposed to pay us $5
screw you,
for that
gators. Who cares?
I've never been to Gatorland.
What?
Never been to Gatorland.
That's like a stamp as of being a Floridian.
Yeah, I haven't been.
It's fun.
So I got to check
For first time, it's
I've
fun.
been to the gator farm up in St. Augustine, which is amazing, and it's huge. And they had one of those gators up there called Maxima. I think it was a crocodile, actually. I can't... Maxima. And this guy, like 13 or 14 foot, just huge.
Yeah, they got one of those at Gatorland, too.
Do they?
Yeah.
Is he stuffed?
They're all steroid looking up.
Yeah. They're creepy looking. Dude.
They're all huge. They can't move.
Scary.
They just sit there.
Yeah, but we went through the monkey exhibit, and now, of course, the kids want friggin' monkeys. You know,
What do you mean the kids want a monkey?
the kids want a monkey. We're walking through, and they see all the
You
monkeys.
gotta be careful
and they
when you
want
say
monkeys.
that.
Why?
I'm just saying.
Why?
You know how it is these days.
No, I don't.
People
Explain.
twist your words and you
What?
say something else.
My kids want
and
a
you're-
monkey.
And you're apologizing on TV.
I'm not. My kids wanted a monkey. We walked by, and there were a bunch of monkeys.
All right.
And they watched the monkeys playing.
I'm not
and they're
saying
like, I want
I'm
a monkey.
just saying you
You've
got to be
seen-
careful when you
I don't
say
even
it.
know what you're talking. Look,
Good.
the
You know what?
llama's even looking at you like,
Don't put Martin Luther King into this.
what?
That's what the llama poster is called.
That's what the llama poster is called?
Yeah, I told you that. You knew that. It's MLK poster.
That should be our T-shirt right there. The llama. But someone owns the right to that picture. I'm sure.
Oh, damn it. Yeah.
We'll have to fix it. We should do another one where all the llamas are black, but one white one.
If they had that, I would have bought that too.
Why?
Why not?
You're making this weird.
I'm not making this weird.
Yeah. So, yep, the Orlando Weekly thing. It's going to be on the link's going to be on the obligatory podcast Facebook page. If you got a second, take some time, vote for me. I'd appreciate it. It's on my Facebook page. And you know what else I got into this week, Kermit?
What?
Instagram.
You don't have to make it sound like you're at a metal concert.
Instagram.
It's not that serious.
Instagram.
You still don't know how to use it.
Instagram.
Have you figured it out? Oh, Jesus. Go ahead.
Graham.
There you go. Did you figure out how?
You're showing me how to use it, man.
I'm teaching you.
You know what's funny? I have not used Instagram. I set up an account like years ago, and literally, I've had 22 posts in like
all right,
4 or 5 years.
Where this is going.
No,
keep going.
And here's the reason I'm getting into Instagram, because as you know, a lot of the comedy clubs have off-night shows. And those off-night shows used to go to guys like us who didn't have big name, big draw, anything else. But they know you got 45 minutes, you're working the smaller clubs, headlining. Yeah, we'll put you in. And now we're losing those gigs to Instagram famous
all about the
people.
Followers.
Instagram famous. A lot of these people don't even have 20. You've opened for a lot of these folks, haven't you?
Yeah, I opened them, and they are horrible.
But some of them are nice people, you've said.
No, they're super nice.
But a lot of them are very realistic about where they're at. Like, they're like, dude, I don't have...
And half their set, they'll do a joke, and then they just talk about what they do on Instagram.
Yeah.
And it's like, it turned into a TED Talk.
And it's like...
Like, what's just happened?
And it's like I told a lot of younger comics. I'm like, it's... The comedy clubs, don't mistake them for being people who are into nurturing and helping you grow as a comic. The comedy clubs aren't in the comedy business. Comedy clubs are in a food and beverage industry.
Yep.
They want butts in the seats. If those people pay to get in, even better. But they still want to sell them not overpriced, but expensive.
Reasonable price.
Reasonably priced if you're rich. Food and drinks.
Yeah.
You know? And you're the entertainment for the night. Now, that being said, if they have an act that can't sell tickets, they'll paper the room, as we call it. They'll give tickets away for free because they still want a large number of people in there eating and drinking. But they don't necessarily care how funny the act is on stage. You can be funny as hell, but if you got 2 people that show up to your show, they're not having you back.
Yep.
You know?
It's all about putting butts in seats.
What Instagram has done is, and we saw this happen a few years ago, you started to notice this, like small clubs in downtown would have someone who had YouTube followers. Well, what'd they do? Oh, they're just weird. You know?
Yeah.
And people will pay the cover and come out. So I kind of got to the point where, you know what? I'm sick of losing gigs to Instagram famous people. I'm like, so apparently if you can't beat them, you got to join them. So now I'm going to be Instagram famous. That's what I'm going to do with my life.
I thought, yeah, which is good. I'm glad you're doing it.
Thanks,
I told
man.
you.
And thank you for the help, because, like, really, I am old and stupid.
I wasn't going to say it, but yeah.
I am technologically impaired.
Yeah, you're kind of...
And you're literally having to show me how to do stuff. But it's working out pretty well.
Here's what pisses me off about your Instagram
what
already.
Pisses me off?
You've been doing it for what? A week?
Like 4 days right now.
You have already 875 followers.
Uh-huh.
I just hit 890. And I've been doing this shit long time.
Really? How many posts have you made?
Way over 500 posts.
Let me see where I'm at. I'll pull this up.
And it's so annoying.
Is it? Well, I feel like my posts are your posts.
No. You're using your kids as an angle.
No, I really am. Let's see. So I have 26 posts since I signed up in 2012. And I have 877 followers.
You mother...
And I'm following 363 people.
Okay. And now you're going to go to mine and compare?
So, I could. Is that what we should do?
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay. So, that's funny. Instagram doesn't even show you as having a profile. That's no, so you have 893 posts.
So sad when you say that.
So that's about 875 more than I've done.
I have the same amount posts that followers.
You have one more follower than you have posts. You pick up, for every post you make, you get like 0.99 followers.
Oh,
Not
this
even
is so
one.
sad saying it
or
out
maybe
loud.
0.901.
Oh my god!
And you're following almost double the amount of followers you have. You're following 15. So you got 1,524 followers. Or no, I'm sorry. You're following 1,524 people. but almost a little more than half of those actually followed you back.
Ugh.
So you're like that guy in high school who's walking after the girl, but she's never giving you the time of day. You're writing her name on the folders, but she doesn't even know who you
want
are.
to sign my yearbook? Yeah.
And she's like, sure, Carmen. And you're like, it's Kermit. What? No, Carmen's fine.
Carmen's fine.
But no, man, that you've taught me a lot. I've been watching some of those videos, learning how to do things, and I really now that's a goal of mine. I want to be Instagram famous.
I say that all the time. I just want followers on my YouTube, Instagram.
But you've also told me not to just assume because you see someone has a high amount of followers that they actually.
There's a lot of bots.
What are like I know a little bit about this, but what exactly?
Pretty much fake accounts.
So people, how's this work?
So like, let's say I created a page for sombreros.
Okay.
All right, and I got sombreros.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm just posting, but I'm also following just random people that have nothing to do. So I'll type in a keyword like Taco Tuesday, and then I'll just follow all those people that post on Taco Tuesday.
Right.
I'm not watching your account.
Right.
I'm just doing it for the follow back.
Hoping they follow you back.
Right.
And get those.
Right. So then you'll see the numbers kind of like this guy has 5,000 followers, but he's also watching 20,000 people. Like it's just kind of weird. And it's like, it's a whole numbers game BS.
And then there's some accounts that aren't even like what you just said, where you're like sombrero. It's just a computer that follows you because you paid for you paid a company to fill your account with,
or you
quote,
tagged
followers.
it with something that like, so if I took a photo with a podcast and since I'm a podcaster, it'll be like a random podcast following me.
So it's more about don't be impressed by the number of followers they have. You got to see what kind of interactions they're actually having.
You got to be active. You got to be talking.
Like
comments.
look at the photos and see how many people actually like those. Like you can have a guy with 6,685 followers.
Yeah.
But then if you post a picture, it only has like
12 likes.
Yeah.
Means nothing.
Right. So obviously a lot of those are.
Yeah. And you also got to be like active. You got to like talk to people, like make comment. Like if you put a post, I'll be like, hey, that's a real cool photo.
Yeah.
If Louie Anderson put a post,
yeah,
that's real
like
cool.
Respond back.
Respond back. But people don't do that. You just hit the double like.
I will tell you, I'm kind of enjoying it. It feels more like Instagram is just what I've got out of it the past few days. It's less of a commitment. Like if it was a relationship, like Facebook is here's all my profiles, get back to you, find me here, message me, do this. It seems like Instagram's more just like, let me throw out a quick.
Yeah. This is what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Look at me. I'm Mr. Minksy. They're just going like that. So you don't know that reference. But
so Instagram is owned by Facebook, though.
C.
Nowadays. Twitter is still out there on its own.
C.
Snapchat. And it seems like all of these, am I wrong in saying this? A lot of these have morphed into we do exactly like I haven't been on my Snapchat forever, and now they have something like Instagram where it's like your story for the day, which is your.
You know what's funny with Snapchat? I started using Snapchat again just for news.
Oh wow! Which was never an option.
No.
Let's face it. Snapchat originally was just so you could send dick pics and have them disappear.
And you won't get caught.
Yeah. And then they set that little alarm where you could tell people were taking pictures of your junk.
Have you gone into the dark side of Instagram yet?
No, I'm only 4 days in, dude. I'm like an Instagram virgin still.
You gotta be careful, man.
What's that?
You get into the dark side, man. You start like following all these hot chicks. They just post pictures of the tits and ass.
No, I didn't. What isn't there?
I'm on that little
How could they do that? Isn't there like?
No, man. There's no filter, man.
What? Like on Facebook, if you post anything that even resembles
as long as you don't show nip, and as long as you don't show the hole, you're good.
I feel like you're on the Instagram welcoming team, laying down the rules. Like, hey, I'm Kermit Gonzalez. Let me go over some rules with you real quick. No nips, no holes. We good here?
No holes of any kind.
Girls just covering their nostrils.
I think that came out so weird when I said it. But yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you know the sad thing is like I'll be following all these chicks. They're like just showing butt pics and tit pics, and I'm getting bored with that. And I'm like, I wonder what they do. Like they have any talents, and they don't.
Oh, you're like that guy who watches porn and actually wants to see the rest of the story.
Yeah, I'm like curious.
Like, okay, you had sex, but now what happens?
What do
Does
you
the
do?
husband come home?
Yeah.
Does he go back to his job? Does the plumber go back home and realize it was more than a one-time thing? And he calls you the next day. He's like, I'm leaving my wife and kids. You know, what's going on with you guys?
And I'm so disappointed. They're like, they do nothing. They do nothing but sit there and take freaking pictures of themselves. It's so boring. It's such basic bitches.
Oh, man.
It's just whatever.
Yeah.
That's my sad life.
Well, so, yeah, I feel like I hate to say it because I'll probably be like different in a month or two, but I'm like optimistic about using social media because I think we've talked about this before. I just came up in a different time in comedy where it was the people I looked up to are like, hey, don't put your stuff online. You gotta travel, you gotta do every gig, you gotta perform for 10 people for no money on this side of the world. And now all that's changed. It's like you can literally build your fan base without ever leaving your house.
See, I was the same way because I kind of grew up in like the middle age, I think.
I say we're the middle children of comedy.
Yeah,
right
and I was just kind of like, oh, no one. Now I'm like all about like, well, share just enough to get people's attention.
Right.
Don't share your whole set. Just
Right.
share like a minute or 2 minutes because people want to
Yeah.
see. If you can make someone laugh within, what, 10 seconds, 15 seconds, you got them hooked. So if you could do that on Instagram,
I'll have to start trying to do that.
dude, that's how these guys are getting famous.
Yeah.
Most of these guys
7
got famous off
seconds,
7
15.
seconds off of Vine.
Yeah.
Vine's gone now.
Yeah.
So now it's
come
15
on in and do 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's a lot of 7 seconds.
Dude,
Yeah.
we saw it firsthand when that country boy came
Oh, that YouTube guy, right?
and he sucked.
I didn't see the show.
Oh, I
but-
watched it and not one person was laughing.
Oh my god! But paid tickets to see
Paid
him,
tickets,
right?
and then people are walking out. That's embarrassing. I mean, to walk out and then the people tell the host, "You are so much better than the." Because the host was Alex.
Alex Yu.
Yeah, and me and Alex are standing.
Well, Alex Yu is one of Florida's like
I'm
that's not
saying-
the easiest
But
guy to follow.
but I'm saying you're not
yeah,
like that headliner is supposed to be the headliner.
yeah. Oh yeah, the headliner should be able to follow anything that
Nope,
goes before
and
him.
he couldn't touch him.
Yeah.
It was just sad.
Well, it's because Alex has solid material.
But most Orlando comedians can't. I think Orlando is a very strong comedy community.
Yeah.
We got a lot of good comedians that can hold their own.
We really do. And I think I've mentioned it before. The whole reason I moved to Orlando was to become part of the scene up here because I started out down in Port St. Lucie, Florida. I was driving to South Florida, like Fort Lauderdale, West Palm Beach, Boca to do open mics and stuff. But then when it came time to like, hey, I want to make a go of this as my living. I'm like, but I'm not going to move to New York or LA right now.
Yeah.
Orlando had such a strong scene. At the time, it had Bonkers had like 4 or 5 rooms locally that you could get paid work at. I knew the Improv was opening back up. I wanted to be a part of that. And we just celebrated our 8th year anniversary at the new Orlando Improv. So, and I will say this, Orlando had a lot of working guys when I moved up here, and a lot of them were nice enough to kind of take you under their wing, give you advice, take you on the road and everything else. So yeah, I'm really happy with the Orlando community. And I mean, look at all the great guys that have come out of it. I mean, Preacher Lawson's out there now doing big things.
Eric
Myers out there, freaking crushing it. Pat Garrity, he should be a household name. He's like the road dog of road dogs and probably hands down. Pat Garrity is just one of those conundrums. He's one of those, just such a funny dude. And you just wish someone who had the power to give him
the chance.
It just kills me.
Well, JB Ball.
JB Ball he's Tampa.
He's Tampa,
but
though.
he spent a lot of time coming out this way and even moved out here
Who was a
before he moved to
comedian
LA. Tom Rhodes started out in a Cowie, but that was a different generation.
Yeah.
But no, not Cowie. I'm sorry, Oviedo.
Ocala.
Oviedo.
Okay.
Oviedo. Yeah. But he's solid, hangs with those out.
Who's the other guy? Orlando. I think his name's Orlando. He has a crazy hair that stands up.
Don't know.
If you see his face, you know. I apologize. I forgot his name. But oh well.
But he's from around here.
Yep. He won Florida's Funniest. Years ago.
Oh, Orlando Sansterin? Is he
Yeah.
doing stuff out in LA now?
Yeah.
Really?
He's in LA now.
But he wasn't from Orlando. He was a South Florida guy.
South Florida guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. But he
But I
came
mean-
to Orlando a lot.
Yeah, but I mean, if you really want to get into that, then you got guys like Forrest Shaw, who I think he writes for the Jim Jeffries show now. Forrest, he was one of those guys that was already doing well when I started out doing open mics in South Florida and stuff like that. But he's just a funny dude. Dave Williams.
Our buddy Sean Finity, he's number 15 or 14 in Roast Masters.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Good for him. It's the accent.
It's the accent.
It's the accent.
Yeah. So, but he's still funny though. But,
It's the accent.
yeah. But
So you got anything coming up this week, man? What are you doing?
what am I doing this week?
I'll tell you while you think about it.
Oh, I already got it. But go ahead. What are you doing?
Go ahead. No,
I'm
go.
DJing again Saturday for a 60-year-old birthday party.
A 60-year-old birthday party?
And they want booty music. It's gonna get
Really?
weird.
Where's this at? Monkey Joe's?
Claremont.
Claremont.
Not
That's
Monkey
kinda like
Joe's.
that's the Monkey Joe's of Florida.
Yeah.
Claremont.
So yeah,
Nice. So no comedy for you this week.
not this weekend.
Oh, cool. Well, let's see.
Thursday we got comedy.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Yeah.
Wednesday night I'm at the Orlando Improv. I'm filling in, hosting the open mic. I believe Type Mike is running his show in the main room. Then Thursday night I'm on the Showcase, and I believe you are too, right?
Yep.
Geek Easy, Winter
Easy.
Park.
You ever did it?
I did it years and years ago when they first started doing comedy over there. Then I think they took a hiatus, but I guess they've been back at it now for like a year.
I never been.
So it's a fun room. You're gonna enjoy it.
Cool.
You're gonna like the geek culture. It's like one of those things. You walk through a comic shop to get to this.
Oh,
room.
awesome.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You're gonna enjoy it.
videotaping.
Yeah, you're gonna love it, man. And the audience over there has always been good. Luke Dupree. It's Luke Dupree.
I think you said his last
How do you
name
say his
right.
last name? Dupree.
Dupree?
Luke Dupree put it all together, reached out, and really excited to be on that. And there's a lot of good guys on that show and girls, I guess.
Heather.
Yeah, I was thinking how many girls, and I think it's just Heather Shaw with us on that one. Okay. And then, this coming up in August, though.
Yeah, you're gonna be gone.
Dude,
I'm gonna find a new co-host.
Actually, what I'm thinking is that week we do the obligatory podcast from the other bar, and we actually have Dustin Diamond join us for the podcast.
At the other bar?
We can do it at the other bar, or
Holy
we can do
shit,
it
that's gonna be a clusterfuck.
because maybe we can find some area to do it down there beforehand. Well, it's always quiet down there before. Maybe we can do it early.
Maybe.
But just speaking of the shows, me and Dustin Diamond, a lot of people know him as Screech from Saved by the Bell. I started working with him back in 2010 out in Vegas, and we just kind of hit it off. So now we go on the road at least once, twice a year together. August 16th and 17th, we're going to be at the Bottle Cap Lounge in Key West, Florida. August 18th, we're going to be at Winter Circle in Lakeland, Florida. August 19th, we're going to be at the Laugh-In in Fort Myers. Monday, August 20th, we're going to be at the other bar in Orlando. And I was talking to you before the show. He's just doing like a meet and greet. And he's doing
make a poster.
He's doing like 20 minutes at the end of the night just to kind of, show. But that's our usual comedy night for other bar. So I'm just going to book some local guys to do some time before him. So we're going to make it like a showcase night with just, Dustin Diamond hanging out with us. So, of course, you're going to be on the show. I'm going to be on the show. We got some other great guys swinging in. August 21st, Iron Oak Post in Melbourne, Florida. August 22nd, Icon Brewery in Vero Beach, Florida. And then that was the 22nd. So the 23rd, I'll be at Propaganda Live with Dustin in Lake Worth, Florida. August 24th, Idol Zone in Auburndale, Florida. And August 25th, we will be at the Robot Brewery in Boca Raton, Florida.
Jeez Louise.
Yeah,
busy.
It's a run, and we will be hating each other by day 2.
I was going to say, well, how long is it going to take for you to get annoyed?
You know how you got those friends in your life that you don't see for months, and then you bump into each other, and like without even acknowledging it, you're just back into the usual banter? We're like that with fighting. Like I can drop them off at airport after a run being like, fuck you, we're never working together again. And then like I'll pick them up like 6 months later and like, God damn it, this is the last time, So no, he's fun to work with, and I have fun talking. The weird thing is he's my age, or our age, I guess. He's 41. And he's into all the geek stuff, man. That's why you've met him before, right?
Met him briefly, but it was just kind of a lot of things going on. I performed with him at Sluice.
Oh, right. Oh, on that weird night.
I think I even performed with him on the improv. I did improv and Sluice.
Uh-huh. Yeah, we did showcase.
And that Sluice was just like an off night.
Yeah, it was a weird night, but we'll have to get him in here for the podcast because he loves geek stuff. Like I've been to his house up in just outside of Milwaukee up there in Port Washington. And you walk in and you would love it, dude. He's got a couple of rooms. Like, just over the years, people have given him stuff. He's collected stuff. He's got like a full-size, life-size replica of Freddy Krueger. He's got like masks from horror movies. One of his best friends was actually Brandon Lee. And when Brandon Lee got ready to film The Crow, him and Brandon were like reading all the comic books and everything that together. Yeah, so he's got some stories, man. He's been around for years and years, so we'll get him in here. He's always fun to talk to on the show, and he's always treated my family really well. Always nice to the boys and stuff like that. Good guy, you know.
Did he give you a dirty Sanchez?
No. Speaking of dirty Sanchez's, Steve Sanchez, that friggin' cocksucker asshole.
What'd he do now?
Like, you don't know.
Oh, no.
You don't know.
What are you talking about?
So on my way to Instagram fame and fortune, I posted a picture, which I thought was hilarious. It was me out at the pool, and I said...
No shirt.
I said, no shirt. I said...
Floaties.
I said... What's up, bro? Do you even pool? And it was me in my swimsuit wearing my kid's floaties and had his little kickboard, and it was like a cute little funny picture.
Guns out,
with my
tits out.
dad, with my dad bod, and it was dad life out by my pool. And then you and Sanchez decide you had nothing better to do than get into a Photoshop like, dude, I put the picture out there, and I will not be fat shamed. I am proud. I'm a strong, middle-aged white male who is. I'm tired of covering up for you to be comfortable. I'm gonna show my body because it's not getting better. This is how it is.
Oh my God.
And you guys just took it upon yourself to take a picture that was taken by my child in a moment of family fun time and turn it into something not nice. And it's people like you that cause people to I think if you would listen to, God bless our president, Donald J. Trump, his wife, who is a saint, a goddamn saint. You're not listening to her anti-bullying stuff, man. It has to stop.
Oh my gosh.
So you guys took it upon yourselves to take the picture and just start doing horrible things to it.
I can't wait to share that photo on the page, on the Facebook page and everything else.
I gotta say, one of them was so good, I actually put it on my Instagram.
He put you as Aquaman.
He took that photo and put me in the new Aquaman photo.
I'll go watch that movie.
And he calls it Mykewaman. And it's funny. But then there were a couple that didn't make it to my page that should. I didn't see the ones you were sending him. I think I only saw the ones he
I
sent
haven't
you.
made any.
Oh, okay. Because you told me you got into a battle.
I wanted to, and he killed me with that.
He has one where he has me in the back of a makeshift redneck jacuzzi, which is where you take a pickup truck, put a liner in the back, fill it with water. He has me with like 4 rednecks and me standing in the middle. Then he has, that whack-a-mole game?
Yep.
He made a whack-a-mole game where there's like 5 of me, and God damn you, Steve Sanchez.
I like how you put a starfish on your nipples.
I requested that. Remember, you sent me one and it had a Band-Aid. I was like, it should have been a starfish. And 30 seconds later, starfish. I'm like, oh, assholes. Steve Sanchez, here's the thing, man. You are very artistic. Everybody go check out Sketch Art of Sanchez. He does a lot. He helps us out so much with the podcast and everything. You're very artistic, but with great power comes great responsibility, Steve. And look, you're at a turning point in your life right now where you can use your powers for good, or you can use your powers for evil. You can use your powers to help, or you can use them to be a douche. So what is it going to be? How come I asked that question and I already know the answer?
I feel like you just opened Pandora's box. And he's going to come at you with a typhoon.
You know what's funny? We were on Real Laughs on 104.1. His name came up and James Jones was like, yeah, I still want him to do a portrait of me. I'm sitting there going, got one.
Yeah, that's never going to happen.
Steve, I love you. Your art is great. But, Kermit's been talking some shit off air, so I think maybe you should take some shots at him. I don't know.
You don't know the shit he puts me through. So.
I want to see more. So, I think we'll be posting those other pictures as a follow-up on the obligatory page, probably.
Yeah, we'll put it up there.
And if Steve wants to go ahead, put them up on the...
we'll put it on the Instagram page.
That's how you know he's kind of nice. He didn't just throw them up on the...
he will now.
Yeah, now that the permission is out there. And he's, you like that?
You want some of this?
I just kind of feel like, it's a little disparaging to me, but why deprive the world of his great talents? So, I think that's about it, man. And it's good to be back in the studio. I love the improv, but I feel like this is home.
It's home. It's
and
nice.
it really is home to you, like literally.
Literally, it's my home.
But yeah, we gotta get that. We
We
got
keep
the
up
board now. You said you've been working
We
with
got
the board.
the board.
So
We
we're
got a
gonna
lot.
have some
We got a lot of
interviews?
new things gonna keep improving in the improv. We got a lot of things that are gonna improve the podcast.
But thank you guys so much for listening. The ones that are listening now, you've been friends and fans from day one, and
Yep.
we appreciate that. And we'll keep you posted on upcoming stuff. And like I said, Thursday night, since this will air 11 o'clock on Thursday, come out to the Geek Easy. Check us out. Kermit and I will be out there. And, if you come up to us, mention the obligatory podcast so we know
You get a
exactly
magnet.
who you are. Yeah, let's bring the magnets. Thank you, Adrian Tuggle, right? The Tuggles.
Tuggles.
Yep, good people. And once again, if you have the chance, go ahead, check out the obligatory podcast page or my personal Facebook page, or maybe I'll even put it up on Instagram. I could really use your votes for Orlando Weekly, Orlando's best local comic.
Let's get him that
and,
W.
And if you vote for me, I'll put you in my acceptance speech.
There you go. You get an acceptance speech.
All right, guys, that's it for episode 26 of the obligatory podcast with Kermit and Mike. Follow us on Facebook, find us, tell your friends about us, and that's it. Anything for you, Kerr?
Nope. You guys are awesome. See you guys later. Adios. Bye bye.